Hello, hi, it's Bonnie here. Welcome to my channel, the Purple Bookish Frog. Really do appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for coming by to hang out with me today. And welcome if you're new. Welcome if you're returning. Thank you for stopping by in the first place. I really do appreciate it. Today I'm going to be giving you my March TBR. So let's get cracking because there's a lot of books to go through. Right, so the first thing that I want to talk to you about is my Tic Tac Toe TBR. So as you may recall, in January, I didn't get a row, so I ended up with a punishment book for February. I only read 24 pages of that punishment book because I'm waiting for the audiobook to come in to my library, and it hasn't come in yet because whoever got it is not reading their book quick enough to give so that I can have it. Anyway, so I have now got it on my TBR again for March, which is good because I'm reading this with a book club and they split the book in half. So technically I should have read 400 pages by now and then read the other 400 pages in March, but that hasn't happened for me. I'm hoping to speed through the audiobook as soon as I get it. And yeah, wish me luck, guys. I've already done a random number generator thing to figure out where I'm going to place the book on the March board, and I done the roll and it landed on 4. So I had to put my my punishment book in box number 4. So that's book number 4 in my TBR. Okay, so now slot number 1 I rolled and I ended up with the prompt never seen on BookTube. Now I'm not sure if I've chosen a book that fulfills that prompt because, you know, that's nuts. I don't think any book has never been seen on BookTube at some point. Someone has bound to have done a review somewhere. But I did do some searches and I came across Dark Hollows by Steve Fretch. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I did do a search and I think nothing came up, I think. Okay, so it says on the back, your past is catching up with you. Jacob Rees enjoys the quiet life, running a coffee shop and renting out his cottage in the Hollows, Vermont. But the calm is shattered when a woman who looks eerily similar to his ex-girlfriend, Laura, turns up to stay in the cottage and leaves a mysterious note in the guest book. Now, Jacob's seeing Laura everywhere, a glimpse of her face across the street, her music box left outside his house, a gift he gave her years before hanging from the trees. But it can't be Laura because Laura's dead. Someone knows Jacob's secret, what really happened the night Laura died, and they're out for revenge. Dun dun dun! So I'm looking forward to that. The picture was what made me buy it. And then when I saw that it could be a possible ghosty, but it's a thriller, so I'm not really thinking ghost. I'm thinking twin. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just pulling things out of the air. Let's hope this book is really good because I've been putting it off for ages and I'd really like to get this one ticked off. Ooh, so let's have a cup of tea. Well, it's fruity. Right, okay, so next book. Okay, so the next prompt we got was Standalone, and I'm going to be reading All the White Spaces by Ali Wilkes. I got it in my Abominable Book Club, if you might remember, this month, February, and it's really cool. I got a signed book plate. I think that's what it's called, a signed book plate, and it is cool. I'm looking forward to reading this. It is a bit of a slow burn from what I can gather. It got slow burn vibes, But if it's anything like The Hunger then by Alma Katsu, then I think I'm going to love it. As you can tell, I am getting ready to buddy read it with somebody. I'm going to buddy read it with Jem from Bookish Gems. You all know her, I'm sure. And I've already like partitioned it out ready for the month, because I'd really like to get this done. And I can see, because it's a big book, I'm likely to just read parts and then just put it down and then not read it again. So I need to keep myself on track. So I reckon by the end of the month I should be done. This book really annoyed me last night. I sat there like faffing around trying to work out exactly how many pages we can read per day, and then try and make it so that it's equal to the week length in March, because you know, because week 1 is like smaller than week 2, and then the last week of March is a lot smaller than week 1, and you know what, bloody hell, it's only done in parts which is almost equal to, it took me freaking ages. Because me and math, we don't get on at all. So when I had to like struggle with this goddamn book and these numbers, and then only to find that the pages are pretty much partitioned exactly how we need it each month. In here, it seemed to take place in the wake of the First World War. It says here that in the wake of the First World War, Jonathan Morgan stows away on an Antarctic expedition, determined to find his rightful place in the world of men. Aboard the expeditionary ship, Jonathan may live as his true self and true gender, and have the adventures he has always been denied. But not all is smooth sailing. The war cast its long shadow over them all, and grief and guilt and mistrust skulk among the explorers. When disaster strikes in Antarctica's frozen Weddell Sea, the men must take to the land and overwinter somewhere which immediately seems both eerie and wrong. A place not marked on any of their part-drawn maps of the vast white continent. Now, completely isolated, Randall's expedition has no ability to contact the outside world, and no one is coming to rescue them. In the freezing darkness of the polar night, where the aurora creeps across the sky, something terrible has been waiting to lure them out into its deadly landscape. Dun dun dun! This is going to be good. It does sound like it's going to be good. I can't wait. So that's book number 2. Book number 3 is smallest book on TBR. I'm going to be inputting 2 book covers here. They are miniature stories. I didn't know that when I first encountered them, because the other day I was browsing NetGalley and I requested a book and I got it. I didn't realise that it's already been published last year in August 2021. So I thought, well, doesn't matter when I read it now, but because it's the smallest book, it's like 25 pages or something. I thought Goodreads got it wrong, to be honest. I thought it was a full-blown like book, you know, like a full-blown book. But no, it's not. It's a novella or a short story. So I thought, okay then. Yesterday I was just looking up the pages on my Kindle just to double check the page count, thinking Goodreads has probably got it wrong. And no, it was right. And then it turns out it's book 2 of a series. And I'm like, for God's sake, it didn't say that anywhere on NetGalley. So I bought the first one because it is 15 pages long. So I got one book which is 25 pages long, and another book which is 15 pages long. So I'm like, well, there we go then. We'll read both and knock them off my Kindle and off my NetGalley account, and then I'm laughing, you know. So I decided I'd do that. Book 1 is called Sorry, I need to look down. Book 1 is called The Mystery of Frankenstein's Bride by Martha Wickham. And book 2 is, which is the one I got from NetGalley, is Love on All Hallows Eve. So I am not entirely sure what these books are about because they're so short. I didn't really pay attention. Book 1, right, it says here, Tara's love life is a monster, so she sets out to see her old flame, Nathaniel Johnson. But when she finds he is no longer living either, eternity is theirs. Bringing him back will get her a husband because of her passionate feelings for him. Johnson is her new life. But when they are on their honeymoon in Germany, things take a bad turn. The castle they stay in creates too much distance between the two. Can she get closer to him before it's too late? And book 2 is Love on All Hallows Eve. And that is, on All Hallows Eve, Tara meets Bobby. He pretends to be a monster while dating her. When she finds out, they break up and he and his friend fear her and they kidnap her. Bobby becomes just another Frankenstein, so she sees a psychic when she is haunted. Will she get rid of the machine that brought Frankenstein to life? Is it the source of all her troubles? Can she let go of what brought her to life? You know, reading that kind of makes me think it's all crap. It's got 1 rating of 4 stars. I don't know what possessed me to request this from NetGalley, but I did. Now I'm kind of thinking it's not good. I'm a little bit dubious going into this one, to be fair. Book number 4 is Punishment Book. We've already discussed that. So, okay, so book number 5 is Kindle Unlimited. So I've chosen to go with The Awakening by Caroline Packham. It's book 1 of the Zodiac Academy series. From what I understand, it's a Dark Academia book with a good magic system. I've never read a Dark Academia book before, so this is going to be my first go. And I'm doing this as part of a read-along, which is being hosted by Books and Bops. I'm so proud of myself, I got that right. Books and Bops. They have a Discord which they are hosting the read along from, so I'm really interested to see how this goes. I shall link the announcement video for the read along below because it will have all the details and where you can go to participate. They've got a Discord channel and their BookTube channel is awesome. It's about a set of twins who are half fae and they go to this school that has elemental magic based on star signs. Sounds really cool. It's got Dark Academia vibes, and I've never read Dark Academia before, so I thought this would be a good way to ease into that genre and see how that goes. I'll read the synopsis to you. It says here, you have been selected to attend Zodiac Academy, where your star sign defines your destiny. If you're one of the Fae, elemental magic is in your blood. Apparently it's in ours. As twins born in the month of Gemini, we are a rare breed, even in this academy of supernatural a-holes. Changelings were outlawed hundreds of years ago, but I guess our birth parents didn't get the memo. Which means we're totally unprepared for the ruthless world of Fae. Air, fire, water, earth. No one has ever harnessed all 4 of them until we arrived, and it hasn't made us any friends so far. As the rarest elementals ever known, we're already a threat to the 4 celestial heirs. The popular vindictive bullies who happen to be some of the hottest guys we've ever seen. So basically, they've got to prove that they are the most powerful so that they can claim the throne. Otherwise, someone else is going to claim it for them. Or claim it from them. But yeah, it's a massive, I can't be bothered to read it all. I'm tired. But you get the gist, and I reckon it will be a good way for me to ease into this genre, dark academia, and give it a go. The prompt for book number 6 is next in a series. So I'm going for the Honky Tonk Angels series. I have already read book 1, which I read 2019, 2018, God knows. But I remember I really liked it. It is a romance novel involving cowboys. I can't help it. There's something about Texas cowboys, you know. So I've decided, right, that I've had way too many dark and horrible, creepy books. And I just need something light and airy and sexy. You know what I mean? And so I've decided to go with Finding Justice by Sienna Stone. Right, so it says here, Justice Weathers has his hand full with the ranch and his twin boys. What is it with twins these days? Okay. A widower whose love life is pretty much non-existent, and maybe that's for a reason. His family doesn't seem to have much luck with happily ever after. Sex, that's something an ex-rodeo bad boy can handle. Love him and leave him. He's not looking for love. Heck, he runs from it. He might have a bit of running to do. Someone's on her way to Cotton Creek. I love Cotton Creek. It's a brilliant name. Someone's on her way to Cotton Creek, and when she gets there, she's going to stir up a whole lot of feelings he spent the last 3 years trying to forget. Yeah, that bit about nothing ever happening in Cotton Creek, so wrong. It's going to be awesome. I like it. Book 1 is not about this cowboy. Book 1 is about a different cowboy who falls in love with a different person. And that book was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it. I might even reread it another time just to freshen my mind on it. But it seemed to me like you don't have to read them in order because it's about different people. But I'm reading them in order. I'm hoping that one's going to be a good book. I need something easy, chill. Do you know what I'm saying? I need something chill. Okay, so next book is right. The prompt for the next book is a book between 300 and 400 pages. I have chosen The House in the Cerulean Sea. It's by T.J. Klune. It's my first ever attempt at reading a T.J. Klune, and I'm really excited. I've been seeing this book everywhere, and I'm not joking, everywhere, and I can't wait to go. I reckon I'm probably the last person to read it. Last person in the world to read it. That's me. Hi. So yes, I'm going to read this, and first of all, I would like to thank Amy from BookTube with Amy for gifting this to me. It was such a surprise. I wasn't expecting anything to come through the door. Honestly, I almost cried. I was like, so sad. I was really touched. I cried. Her message is so sweet. It says, a little belated birthday. Welcome to BookTube gift. Hope you find this as wonderful as I did. From Amy. Oh, Amy, that was such a brilliant thought. So sweet of you. I think you're amazing for sending this to me. You really didn't have to. We'd only just met, and you're just such a kind and wonderful person. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this book. I really do. I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to read this. I'm going to read it in March. Thank you very much. And everybody already knows what this book is about, I am pretty sure. But it says here, He's expected nothing, but they gave him everything. Linus Baker leads a quiet life. At 40, he has a tiny house with a devious cat and his beloved records for company. And at the department in charge of magical youth, he spent many dull years monitoring their orphanages. Then one day, Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a highly classified assignment. He must travel to an orphanage where sick, dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. There, Linus must somehow determine if they could bring on the end of days, but their guardian, charming and enigmatic Arthur Parnassus, will do anything to protect his wards. As Arthur and Linus grow ever closer, Linus must choose between duty and his dreams. Aww. That sounds awesome, and I am going to read it and have loads of fun with it. I just know it. Next prompt is animal on the cover, and I'm going to go with Bunny by Mona Awad. And I'm sure I'm the last person to read this one as well. It's a really weird book according to my mate, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing just how weird this book is. Samantha Heather Mackey couldn't be more of an outsider in a small, highly selective MFA programme at New England Warren University. A scholarship student who preferred the company of her dark imagination to that of most people, she is utterly repelled by the rest of her fiction writing cohort, a clique of unbearably twee rich girls who call each other Bunny and are often found entangled in a group hug so tight they become one. But everything changes when Samantha receives an invitation to the Bunny's fabled smut salon and finds herself inexplicably drawn to their front door, ditching her only friend, Ava, in the process. As Samantha plunges deeper and deeper into the sinister yet saccharine world of the bunnies, the edges of reality begin to blur, and her friendship with Ava and the bunnies are brought into a deadly collision. Hell yeah! Oh, that's freaking awesome. That's awesome. I cannot wait to read that. Yes. Okay. Book number 9, last and final book on my Tic Tac Toe TBR board, is a book that's been adaptation. And I've gone with, right, this is not the book. This is the second book, which I'm reading this month already, but I'm going to be reading the third book in the Vampire Chronicle series, called The Queen of the Damned by Anne Rice. I'm waiting for the book to come out. Do you know what? I was so annoyed, right? I went to the library today, picked up this book, and I said to the guy, is Queen of the Damned here? I can pick that up now as well, because I put it on hold. And then he said, oh no, it only says available here. I said, okay, no worries. Then I get back to my desk, 1 o'clock, right? So maybe half an hour after I start working again, an email comes in. Please, can you collect your... You could have just gone and checked. I'm pretty sure if you just went and checked, I'd have my book with me right now. Anyway, my rant over. It's just inconvenient. I've got to go back to the library again. But the guy was cool though. He asked me about the book that I returned. None of them has ever asked me that before. It's not gone, oh, this book looked cool. How is it? No one's ever spoken to me about the book that I've returned. So that was quite cool. It was just like, oh, damn system. Anyway, so I've decided to go with Queen of the Damned because I thought that'd make it easier for me since I have to read it rather than have it on an extras list. And I'm reading that as part of Vampalong Read Along as well, which is being hosted by Bookish Gems, Ashley's Media Addiction, and The Book Dreamers Alley. I will link their announcement video below. The live show for Vampire Lestat is going to be hosted on Bookish Gems channel, and I want to say it's on the 8th of March. There's lots of things going on in March, so my dates are getting a bit confusing, but yes, 8th of March. I think I'm off that day, so I can have the whole day reading it if I haven't finished. That'd be awesome. Anyway, so that's really good. And the Vampire Lestat is basically about the vampire Lestat and how he became a vampire, I think. I'm assuming so, because at the very beginning of the book, he is human. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you that. Anyway, so that's my Tic Tac Toe TBR, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually quite excited about this TBR. The only thing is, I've gone crazy and decided to join 2 readathons. Thankfully, it's not too bad, but yes, I typically only read 5 to 6 books a month, so I don't know how I think adding more books onto my TBR is a good idea, but we'll see. Anyway, I managed to double dip my book choices in most of them, so we'll see how we get on there. Okay, so let me show you what I did for my TBR extras, which is the readathons. Okay, so the first readathon is the Roll of Reads, which is a readathon hosted by a book fiend called Mel. I will put the link to her announcement video below. She has cards and boards which you can use, or you can write your prompts out yourself, but it has to be the prompt that she gives you. But watch her announcement video. It'll make more sense than what I've just said, because I'm pretty sure that made no sense whatsoever. So first of all, you have to use an 8-sided dice to determine how many rolls you're going to do. My first roll was 2, and I was like, no, I want to play this game for longer than 2. So I rolled again and immediately regretted my decision, and I got 8. Fantastic, love that for me. I'm such an idiot. I'm such a dumbo. Why would I do that to myself? I did, and I still went along with it. I persevered. So my first roll was 20, and that basically means that you don't have to pick a book at all. That's it. You can choose to ignore the prompt altogether. But my prompt was friend pick, and I really wanted somebody to choose a book for me. So I asked Jem from Bookish Gem to choose a book, and of course she would choose the weirdest book she could think of, and she chose Bunny for me. I've already told you about it because it's on my TBR. I decided, perfect, put that on the TBR. So I put that on there, and I've now got 2 TBR prompts for 1 book, so I'm good. And I can't wait to read it. It sounds mad, so I'm looking forward to that. My second roll was 4, and I got gifted or sub box. I chose to go with sub box, and I chose to go with all the white spaces. I thought that would work really nicely. This I got from the Abominable Book Club. Got it right there. And also I am buddy reading it, so that's also a no-brainer. Next roll was a 4 again, and this landed me on Buzzword. It's a challenge by Books and Lala, and the challenge and the buzzword for March is location. So basically a location, so anything, location. And I've gone with the house in the Cerulean Sea. So there's a house and the Cerulean Sea. So perfect for me. I'm going to be using that. So another double dip. The next roll is 7, and that landed me on children's book or middle grade. My youngest said she would lend me her Rainbow Grey book. It looks awesome. It's about Rainbow Grey, who has no weather magic whatsoever. Everyone else in her family, in her world, wherever she lives, has magic. She has nothing. She has nothing, right? And then one day she gets something. And yeah, this is going to be it. Shall I read it so it actually makes more sense to you? It says here, the world needs a rainbow like never before. 10-year-old Ray Gray wishes she had magic like her friends. Life in the Weatherland just isn't the same without it. But then a forbidden trip to Earth turns everything Ray thought she knew about herself upside down. Ray must dig deep to find her inner power, battle new enemies, and let her true colours shine. This is great. And I have read bits of it with my daughter. And our favourite character is this kitty, the cloud kitten. And if you want to know why, you need to read it. The next roll is 9. So that leaves me with a book mentioned in the Gilmore Girls. And I managed to find a list of every book mentioned in the Gilmore Girls. And I'm telling you, when I was looking at these books, and I thought, oh my God, I don't want to read any of these. And then suddenly all these Stephen King books appeared on the list, and I was like, hell yeah! There's Chining, Cujo, Carrie, Christine. I'm sure there was another one. So they were all mentioned, and I was like, I've been meaning to reread this particular book for ages. I looked in the library, and this is the only book that they had available for me. So it's kind of fate. I'm going with Stephen King, Cujo. Last time I read this book, I was probably 16 years old, maybe. I think I left school and went into college. 16 years old probably. I just found it on my dad's shelf, and I took it and read it, and I remember really enjoying it. I remember flying through this book. Like, I was like, done. And so I don't think I'm going to be that quick with this book. I'm pretty sure this book will take me longer than done, but I'm really looking forward to rereading this. It says here, once upon a time, not so long ago, a monster came to the small town of Castle Rock, Maine. He was not a werewolf, a vampire, a ghoul, or unnameable creature from the enchanted forest or snow waste. He was only a cop. Cujo is a huge Saint Bernard dog, the best friend Brett Camber has ever had. Then one day Cujo chases a rabbit into a bolt hole, except it isn't a rabbit warren anymore. It is a cave inhabited by rabid bats. And Cujo falls sick, very sick, and the gentle giant who once protected the family becomes a vortex of horror, inexorably drawing in all the people around him. I'm pretty sure I didn't say that word right. Inexorably. Anyway, that's how I say it. Clearly. So this is going to be good. I can't wait to read this. The next roll landed me on 10, and that got me to magical creature or mythical creature. It can be in the title or in the cover. I'm going with Queen of the Damned. by Anne Rice, which is the third book in the Vampire Chronicles series. Next role is it landed me on 20, which was join a book club, on an online book club, and I have chosen to continue with the House of Earth and Blood. There's a book club on BookTube called the Late Night Bookworming Book Club, and it's hosted by 6 ladies, Katie, Sam, Sunny, Victoria, Jo, Alicia. I will add all their socials below because not everybody's on BookTube. Some of them are on Twitter, I think, or Instagram. But I will find their links and I will put them in the description below for you, just so that you can go and check out their announcement videos if you fancy it. But they are reading this. They've already read 400 pages in the first in February, and they're going to be reading 400 pages or the rest of the book in March. This is the last roll of this is my 8th roll, and landed me on number 10, and I got non-fiction. I was not happy when I landed on non-fiction, but I did, and I now have this book on my TBR. I mean, I don't hate the idea that I've got to read it, but I'm not thrilled because, you know, non-fiction aren't as easy to read. But I think I will enjoy this one because it is Clop Bring the Noise by Raphael Honigstein. I apologise, I just can't pronounce that properly, I'm sorry. But he is the current manager for the Liverpool Football Club, and that is my husband's obsession, Liverpool Football Club. So I married into it, and so I might as well get to know the manager. Why not? So I'm going to be reading this book. It says here, Jurgen Klopp's supersized personality and all or nothing style of football and management made him the perfect choice to pump up the volume at Anfield. The appointment sparked hysteria in the city, with fans and club officials delighted to get the coach they'd long admired from afar and eager to see the impact he would have on the club and the Premier League. Renowned football correspondent on both the German and English games, Raphael Honigstein talks to family, friends, players and colleagues to tell the definitive story of Klopp's career, transformative footballing genius, and how he is bringing the noise to Anfield. It does sound really good. So I've got a couple of pictures in here. Not many, but they've got some of him screaming his head off, celebrating. Nice little pictures. But yeah, I'm interested in reading about him. First of all, he's a very successful football manager. And he has brought Liverpool up to a decent standard. I mean, they were a decent standard before anyway. I mean, in my opinion, whenever somebody came up against Liverpool, I'm pretty sure they were like, oh my God, that is a team to beat. But I think he did a really good job keeping up their standards and improving upon them. But that's the last book of the roll of reads. TBR, I hope that will make sense. I did try to cheat. I tried to roll again, and then I was like, dang it, there's a timestamp on my roll, so I'll be able to tell if I didn't if I cheated. So I had to stick with non-fiction. Oh, bloody hell. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll get through it. At least if I start it, I'm not giving myself punishments if I don't read it. I'm not. Hell no. I'm going to lean on this. The next readathon is the Magical Readathon, and that's being hosted by Book Roast. I will link her announcement video below. I do realise that I'm stepping into this Magical Readathon a stage too late. I understand that the beginning of this readathon effectively was back in September. So what I did was I watched all the announcement videos back then, and I looked at all their prompts, and then I worked out what my character, then I worked out what books I read against that prompt, and I managed to succeed in the novice path, which is the very first one. You only had to do 2 prompts, and the one was read a book with a map. Back in September, I read Children of Blood and Bone, so that really that saved me there. And then The Mist of Solitude was to read a standalone, and I had read Beach Read by Emily Henry back then in September as well, so I was saved. I then took the Guild's questionnaire thingy, the Guild test, and I was sorted into the Mindwalker Guild. So I've joined Discord, and I've announced that I'm a Mindwalker, and I've checked out I've made my character ish. I'm not good with making characters, right? I'm not good with it. So I did my best. I have a female character. Her name is Anyara, and it's an amalgamation of my daughter's names. So I thought that was perfect, Anyara. She's in the Mindwalkers Guild. I don't know what her calling is. I couldn't figure that bit out. I'm assuming that comes later on. Somebody will tell me below, I'm sure. I've worked out that my character is a wilding because I read Stolen Tongues and The Hunger in January, and that fulfilled the wildling prompt of read a book largely set in a forest or outside. So naturally I went with my favourite books, so that was that. And then to figure out what province I was, I had to, I found a book that involved elves. I had read A Boy Called Christmas, so that made me a Etheria. No, that meant that I was from Etheria. I also read The Maze Runner for an ongoing series, and that would get me being from Carador, but I decided that Etheria was a bit more my cup of tea, because that is supposed to be a more haunting kind of ruinish, lots of ruins and creepy places. It's supposed to be like a scary place, right? So I decided to say that I was from Etheria, that my character is from Etheria. For the heritage part, if you were to be an elf, you would have to fulfill the prompt moon stars on cover or title, and I had Haven't They Grown. There's a giant moon on the cover, so that would work. And then also if you wanted to be Etherean, you'd have to, if you wanted to be Etherean, you'd have to have a crow on the cover or in the title, or have a red cover on the book. And I've had read Secret Santa, so that has loads of red on the cover, so that makes me an Etherean. And the way Book Roast, I can't remember her name, I'm sorry, but the way Ethereans are described is a vegan vampire who turns into a crow instead of a bat. Well, a vampire that turns into a crow. That just sounds awesome. So I decided that Anyara would be an Etherean. So she is an Etherean from Etheria. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. And she's grown up in the wilds of Etheria. Oh dear. So that's how I've done it, and I've sort of found like I sort of built a picture of what she might look like. Again, I'm really rubbish at these sort of things, but I'll put a picture of what she'll look like here. That's how I'm kind of imagining her. I couldn't find exactly something that was right, so that's what she's looking like at the moment until I find something better to create this character with. But the prompts for March, you only have to read 2 books. One prompt is related to the conduit. My conduit is going to be a dagger, and that dagger, to get that dagger, I need to read a standalone book. I'm going to read all the white spaces. God, I got a massive. I'm going to read all the white spaces because it's a standalone book, just perfect. The second prompt relates to a legacy gift, which is a special ability that people from the Mindwalkers Guild can do, and it's taught to you over the ages, over the generations and stuff. That's my understanding. And I've chosen the Feywild plane. It's described as a plane that has undead Fey in it. That's my cup of tea, isn't it? The prompt for that is to read a horror book. It's like she made this prompt for me specifically. Thank you. I appreciated it. And you know what I'm going to read for that? I'm going to read Near the Bone by Christina Henry. I've been looking forward to reading this for quite a while because I heard Gabby Reed talk about this, and I'm pretty sure I've started to see it show up on loads of people's TBRs over the last few months, and I can't wait. But I saw this, right, because at first I was like, I don't know, because the one that she had, the cover, it was a bit bland, but this one, when I saw it in W.H. Smith, look at that, so cool. Just that alone made me buy the book. I was like, I need that. That is cool. I mean, that's awesome. I do understand that I'm going to find this quite difficult to read because there is domestic abuse in here, and it sounds like it's on a heavy level. So be warned of that if that's a trigger for you. But I'm looking forward to giving this a read, and I'm hoping whatever this is eats the husband. That's my wish. When I read this book, the husband needs to get eaten. That's my wish. And if the husband doesn't get eaten in this book, that's it. My first Christina Henry will be my last. Okay? Anyway, this book says, Matty can't remember a time before he and William lived alone on a mountain together. She must never make him upset. But when Matty discovered the mutilated body of a fox in the woods, she realises that they're not alone after all. There's something in the wood that wasn't there before, something that makes strange cries in the night, something with sharp teeth and claws. When 3 strangers appear on the mountain top looking for the creature in the woods, Matty knows their presence will anger William. Terrible things happen when William is angry. Now, see what I mean? William needs to get eaten by the monster. It's what I want. Okay? Anyway, so that's the last book on my TBR. So I am crazy. I am. And I don't think I'm going to get most of these done. I have no illusions as to what my capabilities are when it comes to reading a book. I am slow as heck when it comes to reading a book, and I do need audiobooks. So I have got a couple of books on my audiobooks as audiobooks coming up to try and help me get through this TBR. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I probably rambled a lot and made no sense whatsoever. This video is going to be an editing nightmare. I just know it. Let me see if I can make a stack. Oh my god, that's heavier than I thought. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with me. I'm exhausted after all that. I hope you hope you didn't struggle through this video, and if you did, I apologise, and I hope the next one won't be quite so bad. Please comment below if you read any of these, if you enjoyed any of these, if any of these are your favourites. I need to know, so please comment below. And please subscribe if you want to see how I get on in the month of March. I really hope I have a successful March wrap up to give you at the end of the month. And I hope you have a great reading month. Take care, everyone. Bye.